Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited? Because it is I have returned. I have come back, finally. The savior that we all needed from these bullshit UFC Apex cards. Oh my god. But I'm back though, doesn't matter. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I will be giving you guys my predictions for UFC 322, Maddalena versus Makhachev. I am so excited for this card. This looks amazing. Generational card. Hopefully, I'm going to put it out in the air right now. There will be zero fucking, extracurricular bullshit that goes on with this card. We're not going to see, any bad refereeing. Dan Merkley is not going to, end a round 3 seconds before it should. We're not going to see any eye pokes or any no contests in general. And we're not going to see anyone throw their entire career away just for an extra few $1,000s for throwing a fight. This should be great. I'm putting this out in the air right now. This will be a great card. This is going to be fantastic. I'm very excited to go into this. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I was disgustingly sick over the last 2 weeks. I had a real bad case of ligma and it was kicking my ass. And I'm still suffering from the lingering effects of it. But still, we are back now. The last thing I wanted to do when I was sick was talking about some shitty Apex cards and, all that good shit. But there was no way in hell I'm missing out on this. This is, again, I'm just pumped. I'm pumped to be back. I'm pumped to talk about this event. I've missed this. I've missed this quite a lot already. Let's just dive head first into this card, man. God damn. As you can tell, I'm still, suffering. Let's get into this, dude. Starting with, I guess, the first fight on the early prelims. I guess this has become the new first fight now. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ewing. Now, it was originally going to be Wellmaker versus Dirty City. He pulled out with a shoulder dislocation. Then it was going to be him versus Cody Haddon, who just pulled out recently. This is why I make those prediction videos on the last day before the event. All those other YouTubers are talking about how it's going to be like with Cody Haddon and shit. I'm here talking about the actual up-to-date facts. Like the best, because I am the best MMA YouTuber. That is just facts. Yeah, obviously Wellmaker wins this. It's going to be just like the Atiba Gauthier fight, the last one we just saw, dude, where I generally think Ewing's he's here for a paycheck. He's going to run around trying to avoid everything that Wellmaker throws at him. And then as soon as he gets touched by Wellmaker, he's just going to fucking throw his body across the octagon and lose by KO. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about how the Haddon fight I thought would have gone through, how it would have played out. I do think Haddon has a lot of, I think he has a good, he looked better than I think a lot of people will give him credit for. I almost like to think that just because we don't really know why he withdrew from the fight, I almost like to think he kind of just decided, oh, this actually isn't a good matchup for me at this point in my career right now, Because that's a fight. Wellmaker and Haddon, we could very easily see, both those guys be ranked and fighting each other. So I think Haddon just kind of had a realization that, maybe this isn't the best time to fight Wellmaker on short notice like this. Because Wellmaker is really good. That being said, though, it would have been nice to see Wellmaker fight someone with some actual fight IQ and someone that could have potentially controlled the pace with takedown attempts, because that's not something we've seen Wellmaker fight so far. He's just been kind of given, the nice matchups, fighting, you're going to fight fucking Chris Moutinho, and on paper that might be a good fight, but, to make him look good, but, in actuality, that's not really a good fight for you to make. It would have been nice to see Wellmaker actually fight someone with a high fight IQ and someone that could control the pace with takedown attempts. But instead, we're just going to get another fucking circus performance from Ethel Ewing, I guess. I haven't even seen who Ethel Ewing has fought at all. What is expecting of this? So that being said, I'm going to give Wellmaker this fight. I do think Wellmaker still would have beaten Cody Haddon. Don't get it twisted. I obviously do think Wellmaker's very good with the switch stance, the stance switching and the ability to catch his opponents off guard and just land a fucking bomb of a right hook or left hook. That is easily his best move. But it just would have been nice to see him actually climb up the ranks a little bit and fight some better competition. Otherwise, just getting nice matchup after nice matchup. And obviously this was out of his control, so I don't blame him too heavily for this. But still, Wellmaker I think gets this fight win pretty easily here. Nothing really too exciting about this. I actually think they learned from the last time they did this with Atiba Gauthier. They're actually not going to put this card on the prelims anymore because it'll just be like a fucking weird performance from Ewing. That's what they're scared of, really. So I still think, Wellmaker's going to win this fight pretty easily. Next fight, Vyacheslav Borshchev versus Matias Camilo. I am sad because I do think Camilo wins this fight. And I hate to see my boy, this jolly fucking Russian dude, Vyacheslav, go out sad like this, you know what I mean? He's probably gonna get like fucking TKO'd like in the second round and then get just cut from the UFC after this fight. Which sucks. So I'm really pulling for Vyacheslav to win this, dude, but I don't see that happening. Yeah, he's on a decline. Camilo is younger, hungrier. He himself came off with a loss in his debut, but I don't think that really matters too much here. I think he's going to look pretty good here against Borshchev. And just ego to win here. Not much to say about this, really. I just think Camilo looks better. He's younger, 24 years old only, so I just think he's going to have the advantage over Borshchev. Hopefully Borshchev can actually get a win here and still look good in his fights and keep his job. I just don't see that happening, though, so that kind of sucks. Up next is Beisinger Susurkaev versus Eric McConico. Jesus Christ with these huge fucking favorites, dude. Beisinger Susurkaev, I'm gonna pick him to win this fight. I think he has good leg kicks. We saw that in his last fight against fucking what's his name? Oh, another Eric Nolan. He also is gonna have the reach advantage too, which I think will help him out here. I think McConico is he's just so weird with it. He's not a terrible fighter. He does a step up from Eric Nolan, but whenever he fights, he approaches the exchanges really weird. Where he just kind of like he does like a Superman, you know, where he has the chin out, his fucking everything's down here ready to just be like either taken down, or he has the chin out massively as he goes in for a strike. So like you could either land like a hook, a fucking overhand, or a jab would all put him out probably, or at least rock him. And I think he just leaves himself so open to takedowns and is chinny enough that I think Beisinger Susurkaev will have a really strong dominant performance over him. I think the odds are actually really reflective of what's going to happen in this fight here. And I just see that happening, so I'm going to go with Beisinger Susurkaev to win this fight. Simple as that, dude. It is like a better one. It is better in the aspect though that like Susurkaev is now fighting someone that used to fight at light heavyweight, and now he's fighting someone that's, you know, a middleweight. So now we get to see how he fights against opponents that are bigger than him. It's a good test for Susurkaev. He's having a very organic come up compared to some of his other contemporaries, but still though, I'm gonna go with Beisinger Susurkaev to win this fight. Up next is Angela Hill versus Fatima Kline. Angela Hill. Oh, Christ. Did she not just fight? I swear to God. Was she not just... Did I not just talk about her? Where did she just fall? Has that really been that long? Oh, no, was she not supposed... Whatever. I think she loses this. I think Fatima Kline wins this here. Fatima Kline is someone who's had some very decent finish. She's just coming off that head kick KO win, which looked really good for her. She's a very good defensive grappler. She has the striking advantage. I think she's gonna have more power on the feet, and she has the size advantage too, being 3 inches taller and then having a 3-inch reach advantage as well. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go with Fatima Kline to win this. I just think, you know, Angela Hill is still on a decline. I think she's just, you know, she's 40. You know, she's just not at that level anymore. I think she's going to be a very steady decline for her, Angela Hill, at this point in her career, which does kind of suck. She's someone who's always just been there, so you hate to see it, but you know, it's a young person's sport. I think Fatima Kline's going to come in here, just look real dominant, put on a, like, you know, like have some defensive grappling, look really good in that sense. And yeah, I just think she's going to dominate this fight. Truly. Up next, this is a fight I'm excited for. This one's going to be close. This one will be a banger, dude. It's Shevchenko Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. Shevchenko Mariscal is someone I've been very high on since he won over Jack Jenkins, even though that was due to like injury. I still think he's a very, very good fighter. He's on a very long win streak. And now he's fighting someone like Pat Sabatini, who's also looked pretty good here. That being said, though, I'm going to go with Shevchenko Mariscal to win this fight. It's near even, I know, but I just like the striking ability of Shevchenko Mariscal. I think he's a cleaner striker over Pat Sabatini. I think he trains with a good team. He's experienced and well-rounded in the UFC enough that it's not, you know, like the experience won't really come into play as much with someone like Pat Sabatini. He has solid takedown defense and can win close fights. And Sabatini, you know, he has good grappling ability, but I don't think Mariscal is going to allow that to come into play as much. And I just think Sabatini's a bit more blocky on the feet, you know? He's just someone who kind of like just will stand there and try to absorb as many punches as he can without really trying to defend them. And I don't think that's going to translate to a good-looking performance for him against someone like Mariscal, who will put pressure and, you know when not to throw strikes. So I'm going to give this the edge to Mariscal here. I think he's going to continue on his long winning streak. I am still, like I said, I am very high on Mariscal. I do think he has a pretty bright future in the UFC so far. He's showcased that as well, and I think he's just looking better and better with every single fight. So hopefully we can get a really good performance out of him. I am kind of leaning towards a decision. It's a close fight. It genuinely is like a very close like line between these two of who I think is going to win. I did go back and forth with it for quite some time, but in the end, I'm going to go Mariscal due to the striking abilities and the fact that he's able to have good takedown defense, and it's not the grappling will not play as big of a part in the fight as Sabatini would probably hope for. Up next, fuck, dude. Kyle Daukaus versus Gerald Meerschaert. Kyle Daukaus is coming back. He is back better than ever, man. He is looking good. He had a very good win over fuck's that guy's name? Michel Pereira. He looked really, really good then. And Gerald Meerschaert is not someone that's looked really good. He looked really bad in his last fight, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Kyle Daukaus with this one. GM3 is slowing down. He is slowing down heavily. I think he's someone that's, you know, like, he's just doesn't have it anymore, dude. And it sucks to see, man, because he's been here forever as well. But, you know, he's slowing down. Kyle Daukaus is getting better. He is chinny, but he's a good grappler and is well-rounded enough that I think he's going to be able to control the pace and defend the takedowns. And I think Meerschaert's just not going to have an answer for anything that Daukaus has, you know. He's going to be figured out really quickly here. And like I said, he's going to be controlling the pace a lot and defending the takedowns. Meerschaert's just not going to have an answer for anything. And I think, not only will I think, like, Meerschaert will not be able to have any offense, but he's going to look bad in the defense, too, honestly. I think Daukaus will have a lot of control. He'll be on top a lot. He might get subbed, honestly. Meerschaert will probably get subbed, but I'll give him enough credit that I think he'll probably go the distance with Kyle Daukaus. The thing is, Kyle Daukaus does look really, really good. And I actually think this is a step down in competition for someone like Kyle Daukaus here. I do still kind of rate Michel Pereira a little bit that much. I definitely rate him more than Gerald fucking Meerschaert, dude. So that's my opinion. I think Kyle Daukaus will win this fight. Moving on, we have Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. God damn, I swear to God, all I hear about is Tracy Cortez. I don't hear anything about Aaron Blanchfield going into this fight. I think Aaron Blanchfield wins this pretty easily. I'll be honest. I don't think this is like, you know, you see the levels of competition that Blanchfield is losing to. People like Vieira. People like fucking, who else was it? Oh, it was just her. Yeah, she's beating people like Rose Namajunas. That fight still ages well. Talia Santos, Jessica Andrade, still looked good there. And now you're telling me like someone who beats that level of competition is gonna lose to Tracy Cortez? No, dude. I think Blanchfield will out-hustle Cortez easily. I think she is technically worse on the striking, but will be more imposing with it. She will be trying harder to control the pace, and she will also be trying to get takedowns, and also just kind of be scrappy in the exchanges, honestly. I don't think, you know, Cortez is someone that's very technical with her striking. I think she's someone who, likes to look for striking a lot more, and just she chooses her, when to throw a bit more carefully than Blanchfield does. And I think when you're doing that against someone like Blanchfield, you're not going to be able to find those opportunities to strike when you're being as careful as her, because she's going to be coming at you a lot quicker. She's going to be throwing a lot more punches. She's going to be trying to get more damage off of you than if you just try to stand and try to be technical with it, you know? So I just don't see Tracy Cortez being able to apply the pressure to look good on the feet. And I do think Blanchfield does have the better grappling ability as well, so I just see her being able to impose more of it over someone like Tracy Cortez. I don't think Tracy Cortez will have a very good showing here. I think Blanchfield's going to be doing a lot of controlling in this fight, whether it's on the ground or it's on the feet. So I'm going to go with Aaron Blanchfield to win this fight. Up next, Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodrigues. This is a fucking funny fight to make, dude. Just based off the last performances of either guy, you know, Kopylov, you know, he was kind of getting just mogged by fucking Paulo Costa, and Rodrigues had a dominant KO win over Jack Hermanson. I'm gonna go with Rodrigues to win this fight, dude. I just think it's as simple as that, man. I think Rodrigues he has the power to consume Kopylov. He's gonna use the range, the jab, the combinations, and he has the ability to defend the takedown. But honestly, I don't think Kopylov's gonna be applying a lot of that pressure for a takedown. Honestly, I just think Kopylov is someone that wilts to pressure very, very easily. Like, he's not someone that like knows a lot to do. He does not really a counter puncher. He's not really a counter grappler. He doesn't really have that ability. Like, and we saw that in the Paulo Costa fight. So I think someone like Rodrigues, as big as he is, as imposing as he is, how, like, you know, he's still good at range. He knows how to use the range, but then also knows how to throw big combinations at you that can legitimately knock people out. I just don't see, like, someone like Roman Kopylov being able to have an answer for something like that, dude. Like, he's just not him, you know? Like, he just doesn't have it within him to be able to do, like, to find a way to beat Rodrigues. Like, he'd have to, like, it'd be like he'd be like backing up, swinging overhand. Like, that's like, I don't know how else he finds a way to beat Rodrigues here, man. Yeah, I just see Rodrigues dominating this fight. Like, genuinely, I don't, like, what could Kopylov do to win this? I don't know. Like, you tell me. You tell me what you think Kopylov can do to win this, because I don't see it. I don't see it. I think Rodrigues wins this pretty easily. Up next, the last fight of the prelims. Bo Nickal versus fucking Rodolfo Vieira. What the fuck is this matchmaking, bro? Can you believe some UFC executive really looked at this originally and thought, yeah, this deserves to be on pay-per-view. This is a fight people should pay for. What are we doing? What the fuck is this? Why are we giving Bo Nickal such nice fucking matchups, dude? Like, here we have a guy here, Vieira, is 36, has no striking ability, and if he can't get the takedown, he just fucking gives up. He's like the fucking Chris Gutierrez of fucking the middleweight division. And he's fighting someone like Bo Nickal, who's gonna honestly just try to coast as much of this fight as he can. He's gonna just stuff the takedowns. He'll clinch probably. He'll chop some calf kicks at him. He'll land some overhands. He'll try to fight, like, he's just gonna coast. I don't see I don't see a world where Nickal actually tries to go for like a finish here, unless it's like literally gifted to him on a fucking silver platter, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see him trying. He'll just do enough to get a win here, to eke out a win here, genuinely. And then we have to hear on commentary about, you know, Cormier being such a fucking fan of wrestling, being like, oh, this guy's so technically gifted, man, he's so awesome, and Joe Rogan fucking glazing him up too. It's gonna be like, it's going to be insufferable to watch, to be honest. And again, I'm surprised they put that on pay-per-view originally. I'm glad they didn't. They actually had the fucking wherewithal to not do that. But still, yeah, Nickal wins. What fuck else you want me to say about this, dude? Nickal's going to win this. Who is what has Vieira even done as of late? I don't even remember. He beat Trishan Gore. Wow. Is that not like one? He's coming off a Trishan Gore win, and he's fighting Bo Nickal. Like, are we serious, dude? 5-3 to 7-1. He's lost to Petrosky. He's lost to Chris Curtis. He beat fucking. He beat Stoltzfus. He's not an absolute fraud. That's the best I can say. But like, he loses to any middleweight that actually has like power, you know, or just imposes well. So, no, Bo Nickal wins this. Bo Nickal all the way. We move on to the main fucking card, dude. Main card, Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. My fucking boy, Benoit Saint-Denis, dude. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a close fight. This is super close. And that's what I love about Benoit Saint-Denis, because it's like, you can never be too confident in either person you pick in a Benoit Saint-Denis fight. I think, you know, Dariush is obviously more experienced. He is a very, very, very good grappler. I think it's just, it'll be a question of if, you know, Beneil is someone that's like very technical, very smart, but can be caught, and his chin is not beating the strong allegations. He's not beating the strong chin How does that work? He's not beating the weak chin allegations. That's what I meant to say. He's not beating the weak chin allegations. He can get caught pretty easily. Like he's also someone that can get read like really easy. He's kind of an easy fighter to figure out at points. And it's just a question of if Benoit Saint-Denis has the fight IQ to really take advantage of something like that, and not catch him with a fist strike, because I don't think his his hands are very strong. I think it'll be like an elbow or a knee or a kick, which is something he has proven the ability to do in fights against like Matt Frevola. So it'll just be a question of if he has the fight IQ. That's always the question with these Benoit Saint-Denis fights: is do you have the fight IQ to really capitalize on the weaknesses of your opponent and get a win? I'm going to say he does. I'm going to fucking say he does, dude. I'm going to continue to ride this Benoit Saint-Denis train. I'm going to continue to put my credibility on the line for this fucking French man right here. I'm going to say Benoit Saint-Denis wins this fight. I think the pressure that Benoit Saint-Denis will apply is going to be enough to not confuse Dariush, but to like kind of throw him off his game enough, because when you see like people that usually fight Dariush, they don't have that kind of pressure. They like to just throw quick exchanges that kind of Benoit, the Benil will be able to kind of not read easily, but just kind of like, oh, you're just throwing like quick fucking things at me. BSD is slow. He has a very slow volume game where it's just kind of like, they're kind of readable. They're kind of this and that, but it's just so much being thrown at you, And I just think that BSD will also be able to, take the punishment, take the striking of Benil, and won't be out-grappled by him. That's the bold claim, is I don't think BSD will be out-grappled by Benil Dariush. I think, I don't, and it goes the other way though, right? It goes that Benil will not be out-grappled by BSD. Benil will be able to, if he's ever taken down, he will be able to reverse the position and get real scrappy with him. So, but I think it goes both ways. I think the wrestling will cancel each other out. Benil has some good leg kicks. He has some good hooks up close. But I just see BSD being able to apply the pressure and avoiding all the biggest strikes, or at least being able to absorb all the biggest strikes that Benil throws at him enough so that he will be able to kind of put the pressure on. He'll slow down Benil. He'll kind of get tired, maybe gas him out a little bit. Do some clinching, that just have control the pace, control this, control that. And Benil's not just have an answer for it in that aspect. That is my kind of cope. I do think, and as it goes on, I will say before I wrap it up, that as that goes on, I think BSD will be able to find the kind of unorthodox strike to throw at Benil that Benil's not really going to be able to see coming. Like a big elbow or like a fucking a front kick, maybe I would say. Those are my predictions. I think Benoit will be able to kind of figure out Dariush, slow the fight down, apply pressure, catch him when he's not expecting him in that kind of sense. Kind of the opposite of how, Benil usually fights fighters and is usually caught with before. I'm going to say it goes like that. I think, Benil, he's just old, dude. I know he fought McConico and beat him by decision, but he was rocked by him there. Benoit wasn't really rocked. He was just kind of out-pressured himself by McConico, someone who I think was a bit more motivated to try to get their careers back going. But still, I'm going to say BSD wins this. I think that might be quite a bit of cope. I do rate some of Benil Dariush's counter-striking abilities, but I just see Benoit eating all of those, right? And then also maintaining the pressure himself. That Benil won't have an answer for it, and Benoit Saint-Denis is going to win this fight. Probably, maybe by decision. Maybe by decision. Maybe he'll just catch him finally. Hopefully. I trust in you, Benoit Saint-Denis, you French bastard. I think you win this. I believe in you. Next fight on the card: Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Holy shit, bro. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna go Carlos Prates to win this fight. I think Prates has it within him. The thing with Prates has really good takedown defense, and I think Edwards. The thing with Edwards though in his wrestling is that it's not so much like an engaged wrestling ability. It's kind of like a reverse wrestling ability, Like the only time he throws takedowns is when he's being clinched, he's being grabbed, he has the fucking hands around him, but then he turns it around. Throws someone like Usman down. We saw that in the Usman fight. He's able to get on top. and that's how he takes over with his wrestling ability. I don't think Prates is gonna do that. Edwards is also really good at the point fighting. Just standing there and just making sure yourself looks good, while not taking too many shots from your opponent. And I do think Edwards will start well with the striking and that ability, kind of clinching and controlling the range against the slow starting Prates, who usually starts pretty slow. But I just think Prates has a higher fight IQ, and I think he has a stronger chin. And those are issues that Edwards has had in his last fights, and those will become issues in this fight. I think Prates will control the fight. He has the KO power to back up Edwards, and Edwards will start to struggle in the exchanges, and he'll have trouble kind of predicting the strikes that Prates throws. And it'll probably be kind of similar to the Nickal fight, where Prates has Edwards backed up. And, Edwards is kind of really trying to figure out what Prates is going to throw. And he's not going to see whatever strike Prates does throw coming. And he will probably be able to get a knockout win over Edwards. That is my prediction. I think Prates will be able to finish Leon Edwards and win this fight that way. I don't see how Edwards, I just don't see how Edwards these days has the ability to, control the fights anymore. He doesn't really have that ability to really control fights like he used to when he was younger, or fighting fucking even more washed up people like Colby Covington, So I'm going to give this Prates. I think he's going to win this fight. It'll be kind of interesting. It'll be exciting. Hopefully Prates, continues his momentum. He's on a very good run right now. I think that he learned a lot from the Ian Gary fight about himself and how, the kind of pressure that's applied to him, how to kind of counter that and work with that. And I don't think Edwards is the kind of person that would apply as much pressure as someone like Ian Gary does. So I'm going to go with Edwards to lose this fight. I'm going to go with Prates to win this fight. Probably by KO. I could see a decision, I guess. I just think Edwards is really slow and is just looking for you to engage, but he's not going to be able to predict what Prates engages with, and will lose the fight. So I'm going to go with Prates to win this. Feature fight of the night. This is fucking interesting, dude. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I can't believe either man accepted this fight. 18-1 versus 18-0. Wow. There's arguments for either man to win this. There really are. But that being said, I'm going to lean towards Sean Brady. I think Brady has a good fight IQ, and I think he is a good wrestler with competent striking. The thing with Michael Morales, as good as he is, as I think he can be a bit too scrappy, just a bit too loose, and that can lead to some kind of awkward moments in his stances and such. I think Brady's gonna use the physicality, and he has the good enough reverse grappling that Brady will enter into a blitz and will throw Morales off. He'll get the hands locked around his waist, and he'll put him up against the cage. Maybe not keep him down at first. As the fight progresses, Brady will be able to make the adjustments as the fight goes on to keep him there. I think we're just going to see a lot of that, dude. I think we're going to see a lot of, Morales just kind of standing there. Brady shoots for the takedown. Morales doesn't really have an answer in the striking ability. He's just going to be backed up, taken down, gets back up maybe, but then again, just taken down, gets back up. And then towards the end of the fight, until around the third round, Morales is just going to be able to, he'll just be forced to lay there, He's not going to have an answer for how to get back up anymore. Brady will figure him out enough and make the adjustments to keep him down there. And of course, Morales' output will probably slow down, and he will bite on the takedown feints, which will lead to better striking exchanges for Brady. That being said, though, Morales can land big shots even, at any point in the fight. So I could totally see him just absolutely rocking Brady at whatever point. That being said, though, he is still susceptible to the takedowns, even while he's going for the finish. We saw that in the Gilbert Burns fight, that while you have him rocked, he's still able to be taken down. So I just see Brady being able to kind of use those moments of just scrappiness from Morales to kind of throw him off his game and take him down, and just have a lot of control over the fight's progression. I don't necessarily see a finish from Brady. I don't think Morales is someone that's very susceptible to submission attempts. Obviously, if he's undefeated, he's not. But yeah, and he has good, and Brady has good enough striking to kind of just keep someone like Morales on their feet, on their toes, just kind of scared of what he's going to be able to throw, make him wary of what he's going to throw, so Brady is able to get the takedowns in. So I'm going to go with Sean Brady to win this fight here. I think it might be kind of boring. It might be a pretty slow-paced fight, but in terms of what this means for the welterweight division, this is a very huge fight, and that's what makes the excitement from it. So Brady wins this fight. Up next, co-main event. Dude, this should fucking main event its own show. This is an insane fight. I have not been this excited for a women's fight in a very long time. Genuinely, I can't even remember the last time I was this excited for one. Probably, like, it's been a while. But Valentina Shevchenko defending her UFC flyweight championship against Zhang Weili. Obviously, Zhang Weili is the UFC women's strawweight GOAT. Has beaten everyone there except for Rose Namajunas. Even though she won that second fight, but we're not going to worry about that. Who do I think is going to win this fight? I think it's going to be Zhang Weili, man. I'm going to give the edge to her. I'll give the edge to her there. I think Weili is more explosive. I think she's quicker. I think she's better at throwing in combos where, you know, Shevchenko's kind of like also like a point fighter where she'll just throw one or two at a time. And Shevchenko's also someone that loves to clinch a lot, and that's where she kind of takes advantage and keeps momentum. But we've seen in fights where the clinching happens with Zhang that she's also very dangerous in that spot. I think Weili Zhang will be able to defend the takedowns attempted on her and also get her own takedown attempts in. And there'll also be points where Valentina will fight at range because she likes to do that a lot and will also go for, you know, the leg sweeping takedowns if in the clinch. But, you know, we've seen this from the Zhang Tatiana Suarez fight, you know, someone else who she fought a bigger opponent, usually someone that fights at the flyweight level, that Zhang can counter the leg game with big striking combinations. And she's also shown improved grappling from the Suarez fight. I think that's a very important. I think the Suarez Weili Zhang fight is very important in deciding, like, you know, seeing where her level of grappling is, and it's in a very high level with Zhang Weili. That being said, though, I do think Shevchenko has the size advantage. Obviously, she fucking does if you just look at the fucking numbers. But Weili has the strength advantage. That's, I think, the biggest key part of all of this. I just think Zhang Weili is too strong for her. Again, she's quicker, more explosive. I think she's going to throw massive combos that'll throw Shevchenko off. I think she'll have big power and wrestling skills to counter the kicks and reverse positions and will be more active in the clinches. Enough so to eke out a win here. I'm going to say 49-46, like probably that. I think it'll be two judges will say 49-46, one will say 48-47. It could be a split decision. I just don't see what Shevchenko could do unless her takedown ability is really that good, or, you know, like the range striking works as well as like it theoretically should for Shevchenko, that she will get a win out there. But I see Zhang Weili winning this fight through all those reasons. You know, she's quicker, she's younger, she has, you know, she's on a better run, she's been more active, she has the strength. I'm telling you, dude, this woman is fucking strong. She is insanely strong, dude. And she's gonna come in here with some big, explosive combination punches to her that'll really rock Shevchenko, I think, and just throw her off her game and make her not want to clinch more. I think we'll see a lot of range fighting from Shevchenko, and it's not gonna work out well for her. I think there's gonna be a lot of engagement from Zhang that's gonna push her back to the fence, push her against the octagon, and she's not gonna be able to get anything in. Shevchenko will not be able to get anything in if she's fighting at range. So she's gonna be trying to get the takedowns. She's not gonna get it. Zhang will be the one getting it. I'm going to have Weili Zhang win this fight. Those are my predictions. Before we move on to the main event, Giacomo Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev for the UFC Welterweight Championship. Listen, man, you've heard it a bunch. You've heard every other YouTuber say it. I'm gonna be like fucking reiterating that. JDM wins this, dude. The fact that this has Makhachev minus 300. Dude, anyone that actually bets, like, puts money on fucking Islam Makhachev, that's how you know, like, there's a casual. The casuals have taken over the sport. Because, like, that's, like, if you want to know if your friend is a casual, ask if they've put actual money on Islam Makhachev to win this fight. It doesn't, not if they think Islam's going to win, but that they've actually put money on Islam winning, bro. That's how you know they're an actual casual, dude. Because JDM, bro, this guy is so good at scrambling, and he's very good at the takedown defense. He has the style to beat Islam Makhachev. Islam has historically struggled against strikers on a full camp. who are able to defend the takedowns, reverse the position, and do damage on him on the feet, backing him up. And now he's going to face someone that is bigger than him and in his prime, instead of someone like Volkanovski, who is a featherweight, or Dustin Poirier on the verge of retirement. This is someone bigger than him in their prime. JDM is going to barely be taken down or controlled. JDM is the fighter that JDM is the kind of fighter that is barely taken down or controlled, and when he is, he can reverse it well and parlay that into throwing a good striking exchange that has won him fights. When you look at like the Gilbert Burns fight, that is how he won, by countering a takedown attempt and control on him. Islam will push him back in the blitzes. This is how the fight's gonna go. Islam will push him back with the blitzes. He'll try to use the cage to get takedowns, but we saw in the Bilal Muhammad fight that doesn't really work again with someone like JDM. He will shake off those attempts, and then he'll shake off those attempts. There'll be some close exchanges on the feet. JDM will land some big combos. Islam will land good kicks and some jabs. JDM will land body shots and counter the clinch attempts. Islam will start to struggle for takedowns, especially in the open, in the middle of the octagon. Maybe have a moment of control on the feet, but then JDM, he'll have a moment of control where like he throws a strike and then he'll like start backing up JDM, but then JDM will but then Islam will look for a takedown against the cage again, and then JDM will get out of it, reverse momentum, start throwing combinations of his own of body and head strikes. And then as the fight goes on, the fight starts to get a little bit scrappier, and JDM will start to apply more damage that Islam wears historically. You know, he wears his damage a lot, dude. So overall, JDM should do enough to defend the takedowns and cause more damage on the feet to win this fight here. Obviously, it'll be a decision. I'm going to say, I could say, I don't want to say it'll be like 2-3 Islam. I don't want to say it'll be that close. I want to say 50-45. I'll be bold enough to say that, dude. It'll be 50-45 JDM to win this fight. He just has the style to beat Islam. This is like the biggest. It's actually kind of surprising that Islam took this fight, because he has all the weaknesses that Jack Della Maddalena can, take advantage of and apply pressure from and just figure him out. So I guess hats off to Islam for trying to get this fight, but I see JDM winning this fight. And if you don't, you're a casual. I don't know what else to say. That is my prediction of this fight. That is my prediction of this card. Like I said, bro, generational card, man. This entire every fight here is like really, really good, dude. I'm expecting like big things from this card here, man. Big things. I'm pretty confident in the picks there. Let me see if there's any locks here. Actually, hold on. I don't think. I mean, obviously, Wellmaker. I'm gonna go Camilo as a lock. Susurkaev is a lock. Kline is a lock. I'm not going to be so... I know I'm hype on Mariscal, but I won't flat out say he's a lock, I don't think. I think Sabatini has the ability to actually win this fight. Daukaus, I think, is a lock. Aaron Blanchfield is. Rodrigues is. Nickal is. I still think that Benil has a chance to win this fight, so I won't say Saint-Denis is a lock, my boy, even though he should be. Prates is. Morales has the opportunity to just get not a fluke KO, but like out of nowhere KO win for him. I almost want to say these last two are locks, dude. But you fuck it, man. Add Weili Zhang and JDM to the parlay, dude. Add it to the parlay. I think I'm confident enough in Weili Zhang's ability from everything I've seen from her compared to the output that Shevchenko's had from the last few fights, that I think Weili Zhang will confidently be here. And also I think JDM just has all the tools necessary to figure out the weaknesses of Islam, expose the weaknesses of Islam, and eke out a win that way. That being said, though, I don't know, the judges could totally just fucking rob us on this. I don't see a lot of finishes on this card, not in the main card. Could see some surprising, like a fucking, like, front kick KO from Susurkaev. That'd be, like, my biggest, like, out there, like, finish of the night prediction right there. But this card's awesome, man. I'm excited to see how it goes down. I'm excited for this card. Hopefully you are excited for this card. Let me know in the comment section down below how excited you are for this card. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me, more predictions, or see my reactions when they eventually do happen after this fight card goes down, because I'll be reacting to that as well. playlist. Look at all my other UFC reactions and predictions. There's a video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and you can subscribe to the channel right there. But that's gonna do it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.